And we are live. Hello, guys. Just take a little minute. I'm gonna fix everything. I have to turn a little down the volume of the game, at least. And let's see here. Let me remove my picture right here because it's not my birthday anymore. There we go. Let me go over to game. Hey, there we go. So this game is called Not for Broadcast. I watched some of my favorite YouTubers play this, and I thought, hey, why not let me try out the game? So I hope you guys will enjoy this because trust me, I love this game since I first saw it. I love my really heart of it. So let's hope you guys will enjoy as much as I will do. So let's get into the game, shall we? Enter your game name, Gamer Kitten. So let's get into the game, shall we? Enter your game name, Gamer Kitten. There we go. Day 1 election. Oh.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. All right, mate. Dave here. Listen, now, I know
Hi.
you've come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so, you're going to have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry. It's not hard, and I'm going to stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now,
Okay.
4 small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again.
Okay.
You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk. You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any 3 and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again.
Okay, Crazy Nail. That sounds interesting. Salad Weekly. And exercise with ham sleeves.
You should be getting a signal from the studio soon.
At 9 p.m., sit back and relax with multiple award-winning movie, The Freedom.
When you get the signal, select screen 1 with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know seafood makes me go out in pustules.
Yeah, thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Oh
Every
my
day, you
God.
offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. It's how I show love.
You're trying to kill it.
And yet you persist, going
Ah.
5, 4.
Now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay,
Moving on
we're
up.
all good.
The election
Next
win
is going to be the
that
throw to
offers
the news
just pretty
titles on screen 2.
Hopeful or
There'll be a
hostile.
countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys honest
Okay.
and is totally independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Megan was chatting with movie star Lawrence Bunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic week.
Right, button
That's
2
all coming up on
in
tonight.
3,
National
2,
Nightly News.
1. Lovely, mate.
Yeah!
Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes.
Okay. This is really interesting. I'm working with the news now.
and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide.
Listen, mate, we often get a bit of interference around this time of night, so keep your eye on the machine on the bottom right. You can move that white dot up and down, avoiding the interference
Oh, okay.
using the yellow knob or your scroll wheel.
Of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly.
Great, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
We'll be going live to Advance HQ to hear the co-leader's acceptance speech.
And 3,
That's all coming
2,
up.
1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody.
Hey.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
Oh,
Thought I'd ask him about the election.
personally, I wouldn't try to confuse him with any big words.
That's the same policy we use with him. I thought that was our little secret. He doesn't remember anything I tell him.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship. Yeah.
Wicked. We made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But
Thank
this is
you.
where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long, 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first
Get
off,
ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
Megan Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to
go
the
to Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his name.
by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear, I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
Latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
the medicated. Yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter the Rat, that's Peter Jensen, the director.
Give us a look at Megan's reaction. Lovely. Now back to Thunder Twat.
I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, "What a wild ride this has been! What a wild ride this has been!" I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was a true story.
Been on that shot a bit long.
For a love that surpasses all. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it. But I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it,
I do really good,
what is
actually.
it then that drives you?
That is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire. I do it for the little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But, I think I've always been quite
Remember the
clear
10
when it
second
comes to
rule.
politics. That one should always
I do what I want.
strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Okay.
Next week.
They've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen, one for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff.
Watch out for that interference, mate.
I will.
I don't understand it.
Cool, looks like Blunderclatch is losing it in the studio. I'd love to hear what he's saying, but don't switch to it now. You can go to the archive when the broadcast's done. We keep everything.
Oh my god, I will see that.
Lawrence, we mustn't. Make us careful.
Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan.
Did it for you, baby. All for you.
Dr. Hemlock.
I'm gonna change the world, you know? Go ahead, listen to you.
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me, but I didn't listen.
Doctor,
I'm drowning, Lance, you said.
you need to see this.
Now it's all too late.
Look at this!
We're almost there. Whoa.
Sterility. This formula, this is the key.
Stop it.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
Oh, I will.
If we should.
There we go. All done.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button, or the spacebar on your keyboard, for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you've got to do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now. As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder.
And iceberg. Plus this exclusive lettuce fridge magnet. All for just
You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember, button lights up, count 1, 2, and hold it down. Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your keyboard. 1 to 4.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance Headquarters, where the 2 leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Oh shit, he's pissed.
Shall I
Get ready to
start?
bleep.
Go for
Oh, well.
Shall I start?
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming, and well, where do I start? What a day!
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying, southern bastard trick they had against us. But you, the people
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of seconds. It makes me coarser than the granny's funny. Coarser than the
Memorably
granny's.
put. But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party is what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbook.
Again, colourfully put, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
Sorry!
Probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow, we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So, all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. Earlier today, we revoked your passports. You want them back? You want to leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay us. You're going to pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into a team. To properly fund health and education. To raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions. But you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats.
The people who pay officials to serve drinks in their private clubs. The people whose children...
Sorry!
So they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been. In the hands of the people who created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there and our apologies for
Woo.
the language. Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time. If not, someone's going to be in trouble.
Oh
So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under Advance. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful...
Right, looks like you've got it now. Thanks for all the help, mate. I've got to go. Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back.
Oh my god.
Good luck.
Thank you, I guess.
Politics then?
This is some weird fever dream. Am I dying now or something?
You should be so lucky. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Not going for a drink?
No, got a date.
Lucky you. Try not to get murdered.
Oh my god, a C. That's okay. I made it look good. That's something. Oh, broadcast.
Left you a voicemail. I thought you'd end up here. Most people come into the archive room when they're done with a broadcast. That way you can see what you did and how it looked to the public. As you can see, there's 3 sections to the archive. Broadcasts, that's what you've put out. Rushes, which is all the stuff that was on all the screens. And adverts, which is any advert that you've chosen to show. So let's have a look at the broadcasts. Okay, on the left you can see all the done, hit back.
Oh, okay, guys, let's watch my work, I guess.
Well, in a few moments, we'll be going live to tonight's national nightly news. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later on tonight on Channel 1. At 7 o'clock, it's the semi-final of the quotation game, and it's a nail-biting quiz tonight as a team of nuclear physicists take on 4 old ladies from East Grinching. That's followed at 8 p.m. by award-winning documentary series The Shape of Now, which tonight looks at the history of the knee-length sock and its importance during the Great Blackouts of 1871. Not one to miss. At 9 p.m, sit back and relax with multiple award-winning movie The Freedom of Being Colin, taking us all the way up to 11:15, where, as usual, Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey will be grilling his guests in Incisors, and tonight sees a return for leading economist Katie Brightman. Finally, at midnight, it's the National Weather Report, before we say good night until tomorrow. But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson for the National Nightly News.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight. Moving on up, the election win that experts said just couldn't happen. Hopeful or hostile? Controversy as global mega corporation Remington's Fist buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic victory. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Oh my god. Woo! News! Dun dun da 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 da.
But first, the votes are in and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide victory, with an astonishing 81% of the popular vote, is the biggest election win in living memory. Advance appealed to voters up and down the country with their bold promises of permanent change, but critics have accused him of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly. However, former Home Secretary Geoffrey Jeffries has issued a statement in which he comments that we have all been seduced by the shiny wrapping paper, but have yet to see the contents of the box. Sounds like sour grapes to me, Jeff. After the break, Megan Wolf will be speaking to a man whose grapes certainly aren't sour, the international heartthrob and inexplicable box office sensation that is Lawrence Blunderclatch. And later in the program, we'll be going live to Advance HQ to hear the co-leader's acceptance speech. That's all coming up after the break.
Da, 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 da.
Welcome to Crazy Deal.
Oh no!
Crazy deal! We don't care if you've been naughty or nice. We got green sofas, red sofas, brown cushions, pink cushions. You've got a grey sofa. We've got a great sofa.
Oh no!
A yellow, a purple. Neil's deals are unreal. You've got people coming over at Christmas. You've got
Jesus Christ.
You don't want to sit on this white sofa.
This is basically like Flame and Flame in a nutshell.
Deal with Neil appeal. You want to throw your money at the sofa for a price that is just crazy. If you got lightning, strike it, then strike one.
Someone has to make an animation about this ad with Flame and Flame.
Don't make a meal out of it, make a deal out of it. We got a big ass deal on a big ass chair. We've got white chairs, blue chairs, stools, inflatable chairs. This is a crazy deal with Neil appeal. You don't want no lame ass chair, you want a great chair. We had a man come down the other day and he brought in his young daughter and he wanted her to have the best chair. We got those chairs, we got more of those chairs. We got tall chairs.
Oh my god, how long is ad? What the hell?
Deal. We got those chairs. You want crazy? We got crazy. Crazy Neil's got crazy deals. You want a toilet? We can do you a toilet. We can do you a toilet next to a chair. We can do you a chair next to a toilet. Hell, we can even do you a toilet chair. Do you
what?
You bring your ass. We got it. You want it. You want it. We got it. You want it. You pay us. You want it. We've got it. You want it.
Finally! Oh my god, that ad was long.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance, but first our very own culture reporter Megan Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf.
Hey, I did it good.
And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare to the Shotbot films. I'm very excited to be joined today by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear. I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among the greatest joys of my life.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Bless you.
So you've just finished filming your latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The Medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the Wrap, that's Peter Jensen, the director. Do you know him? He's a wonderful chap, he really is. I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And you know what?
Oh my god.
I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
Oh, that is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire, the little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But, I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Yes, well...
Sorry, I said fuck.
No.
Apologies.
Well,
Sorry.
Lawrence, I believe you brought in a clip from The Medicated, which opens next week around the country. Lawrence, do tell us what's going on here.
I'd be delighted. This is a really pivotal scene where my character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff.
I don't understand it.
Doctor.
Oh no. Okay. Okay, I think I would rather watch...
Click on rushes and let's have a look at those.
Yeah, but let's do that.
Okay, these 4 screens, they're exactly the same as the 4 screens that feed you the studio signal when you're doing the actual news.
Oh.
Of course, the difference here is you can mute any screen you like or any combination of screens and you can have a listen to what was going on behind the scenes. Just select any segment, that's any bit between ad breaks over on the left, and hit play. When you're done checking out the backstage secrets, hit back.
Okay. Play.
These aren't my cards. Please tell me these aren't my cards.
No, they're the right ones, apparently.
But this gives me nothing, Jenny. They must see that.
Oh my
no,
god.
I think they think you won't have anything to say.
Oh, for God's sake, come on. It's a huge day. It's not an...
Absolute bonehead. I don't care, Rob. I'm not doing it. I agreed to do one beastly interview a day. I made that completely clear when we started. Check my contract.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Oh, piss off. Whole wheat.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National.
Let's finish top because we have seen this.
Oh,
But
sorry.
Lawrence, I believe
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
And we're out.
Rob, get the car, we're out of here.
Mr. Blundercatch,
I'm shutting this down. What kind of operation are you people running?
Mr. Blundercatch, I understand you're upset, but we can...
Upset? You don't know the half of it. Rob! I'll be at the doorstep. Send up a bottle of scotch and a whole ham. It's in my contract.
I'm sorry. I just had to. I had to. Well, go on then. Say it.
What?
I told you so.
Your hair looked nice.
See, this is why you're single.
Oh! Oh my god. Okay. Let's watch this.
Apparently he's been drinking since lunchtime.
Christ, he's a liability in the best of times.
I know. God help whoever has to bleep this.
10 seconds, everybody.
I mean, a lawyer and a TV personality running the country. Seriously?
We've had worse. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm told we can now go live to advance headquarters where the two leaders...
Shall I start?
Go for it, Pat.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and, well, where do I start? What a day.
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying southern bastard trick they had against us. But you, the people, you saw right through their shite.
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebratory pints. Makes me coarser than a granny's fanny.
Memorably put. But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party's what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things.
Oh, not much.
But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Again, colourfully put, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced
I'm guessing that when he does the shoot, I'm guessing that what he's drinking actually is basically apple juice or something instead of alcohol.
Are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow, we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So, all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. And earlier today, we revoked your passports. You want them back? You want to leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay up. You're going to pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into a team. To properly fund health and education. To raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions, but you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats.
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs.
Wow.
The people whose children you raise.
So they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been. In the hands of the people who created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
Can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Continue. Yeah, I'm really happy I'm censored at that too. Day 3. You ride home to find posts on the mat, most being nothing more than a usual junk mail. One letter, however, catches your eye. The team wants you to know. Curiosity gets the better of you and you open it. It's a form from the new advanced government asking for information on all the citizens. The first page is filled with already. Your name, Alex Whitson, your spouse, Sam Whitson, your children, Charles Whitson, 14, and Susie Whitson, 19. Well, you mules, at least they got the basics right. Let me do a little something quick. Let's see now, where's the thing? There we go. The rest of the questions are left for you to complete. They appear to the mandatory. Question 1. Upon starting a new job, you would be friendly and introduce yourself to your new coworkers. Be productive and get to work immediately. Ease yourself in and orient yourself with your new workplace. Or remind with friends about old place. I've choose this one. Question 2. A colleague in a different apartment has confidence in you that you have been taking home confidential information. Now a file in minor importance have gone missing. You would have your colleague cover up your violence, recommend your colleague report it, promise your colleague you won't tell anyone, report your violence to your supporter immediately. This one. The entire department was fired today for coincidence underperformance. Your boss have put in place new targets that are significantly higher than the previous ones. You would leave work on time, stay late for ensure you hit the first deadline, leave work early, and head to pubs to chat about the changes with colleagues, or leave work early at home to see your family. There you go. This is a usual company barbecue and you and your family have been invited. You are looking forward to enjoy the nice day with your friends and family. Are you washing your hair that day? Go if you're free, we wouldn't mind missing it. What have been practicing with your coworkers? I think you win the talent contest this year. This one. You had a long successful career and now you're about to retire. In your speech you list your achievements and all the good memories you have worked on there. Give an honest review of the pros and cons of the company. Focus on the issues and the challenge you face while working there. Refuse to attend. This one. In your spare time, you like to relax alone, doing things like listening to music or making models. Intend political reels and set up for what you believe in. Encourage and support your children with your hobbies, playing in your local sport team. This one. Your ideal holiday getaway will be surrounded by natural beauty, getting away from the strain of the daily grind, exploring somewhere unfamiliar and discovering new experiences and challenges. A structured day out at a theme park bursting with thrills and attractions for you and your family. A romantic getaway with your partner to a tropical island paradise. Actually, this one. This is the most important that your government keeps people safe, free, happy, equal, safe. Thank you for your cooperation. Advance to know your time available. We appreciate your help and lead to national a brighter future. Sign your name. Okay. Day 6. It's late. Sam and kids have gone to bed. You're just drying up a favorite coffee cup and worn out souvenir of your first trip together. The prints faded, but a goofy face will take you smiling. A knock on the window brings you back to reality. There in the garden, crunched a known green suitcase is Chris Sam's sibling. As soon as you let them in, they sit at the kitchen table, visibly stressed. Chris takes a deep breath. I'm so sorry for bursting in so late, Alex, Chris stammered, but I need a favor and you're the only one I can ask. Are you okay? Should I get Sam? No need to worry, Sam. It's you I came to see. I just need 2 minutes. You heard about the Assets of the Will Act? No willing must have passed me by. Chris' face in a screw bar tightened up now. They're taking people hard-earned money to fund the lazy. I'm not saying that the top 1% of whatever they don't have stupid money, Chris added harshly, but they can't afford it. People like me, we're going to lose everything. That's why I'm here. Okay, so what's actually what you need? Chris' eyes seem to resting comfortably on the floor tiles. Look, I know a lot to ask, but I need to borrow your passport. My passport? What for? They're taking mine and half the bloody country, but people always say you and you look familiar, so Chris is pacing now. I need to leave before it's late. Once I'm out, me and my money will be safe, but I need to go now before they freeze my accounts. Please, Alex, I wouldn't ask if you had any other choice. Surely there's another way. It can't be that serious. Chris' mouth open. You're joking, right? I'm always done right by you and Sam. I'm afraid that your children like they were your own. We're family. Does that mean nothing to you? It's against the law. I can't help you with this. Fine, I sold this myself, Chris bits. So much for family loyalty, eh? Grabbing the night on Fulton's suitcase, Chris disappeared into the night. You go back to the dishes, picking up Sam's cup again. The pilling face now seems to bore into you. The knot in your stomach tightens. Ooh. Day 8. Da 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 da. Oh my god. Okay, let me just take a little time. Okay, 4 plugs on. Fan, speakers, sound desk.
Right, let's load up the adverts. You might want to have a bit of a think about it. Your decisions have consequences, don't they?
Let's go with this. This one. Let's try. Should we play? Is this toy safe? Let's do this.
Right, you can see they finally got the old headline system up and working again, and the vision mixer's already in headline mode because headlines always come at the start. It's really simple, mate. These 2 buttons at the bottom of the vision mixer, you can see they now have A and B on them, and they're to help you pick image A on the left bottom screen here, or image B on the right bottom screen here. It's really simple. This little clock here will count down
Says theirs gets really hot.
Is this Janet who thinks dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon.
10 seconds, everybody.
Not the best source of consumer advice then.
Don't blame me when it explodes. Going in 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first full week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be discussing what the new future may hold with a leading economist and radical free thinker. With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guess if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's Fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington has always impressed. She was top of her class at university and graduated with the highest honours, immediately being asked back to lecture. The markets have responded favourably to Sophia's appointment, with stocks rising 30 points in light of the announcement. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehouse. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash, intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborg-Horgensford have today set off to explore Dante's taint. The recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, but thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flower technology, the pair hope to successfully reach the imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series of successful expeditions for this unlikely pairing. In a joint statement about the dangers their team
Hey, I'm doing good again.
will face the plentiful challenges together like we always have. Playing the field, rumours abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped leaving Bush, one of the capital's hottest clubs.
Imagine taking B. Oh no.
Being named Sports Personality of the Year last week, as reported by this very program. Johnny is seen here with socialite and performance artiste Tiffany Lamore, whose recent show, Snatched Inside My Snatch, has kept her firmly in the public eye. Could romance be on the cards for these two budding A-listers? And grievous bodily with Advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective. With more and more powers passing to the police and less oversight, are we using an advanced-shaped sledgehammer to crack a nut? All that and mega more for a group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Oh no. I'm still hoping you guys are enjoying the game as much as I'm doing right now, because I will never imagine this will be real life. Okay, there we go.
In the wake of the government's swift enactment of the Assets and Wealth Act, we're talking about Advance's first week in office and what the new future holds. Joining me are Katie Brightman, a leading economist, and Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, The Free Man's Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the government certainly haven't dragged their heels on delivering some of the legislation they promised. But what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Nothing, Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Advance have realised that the current economic system of unlimited, unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps in the grand plan.
Grand plan, Alan?
It's all in my book. Alan James is right, Jeremy. We're to become the great herd, ignorant, sterile, and short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on the way we are, we will destroy ourselves and this planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy on our poor broken backs. It's all in my book. Alan James is
shamelessly self-promoting. Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully. Advance are the most disruptive threat that world powers have faced since the last Great War.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable. And this will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're talking high-tech weapons that can level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, we'll be laughing then.
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know full well that isn't going to happen in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent end to poverty.
Bollocks! What this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy, is that these are the...
Damn, shit.
Maybe they've rebranded...
Sorry!
Circus Act to keep us from seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk happily into eternal bondage. They're like...
Oh my god!
The Assets and Wealth Act is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our public services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts
Oh my god.
or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and opiates. Like opiates, see?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue. It's all coming from the water, the chemicals, they're pumping it full of belief juice.
Don't get me wrong, I want to see these changes, but only if they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, that could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we've all been figuratively sodomized into submission.
No, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world. God knows we need some change, but we need to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating law and order before Megan meets some beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National Nightly News.
1 minute back.
There you go.
I think they might do some good.
I hope so too, Jeremy.
Oh my god!
I don't know what she meant by that.
Oh no. Hmm.
I'm just saying I'll do what I can.
Bullshit, you will. She's good. Who knows she is?
So I've got a word in, that's all I can do.
10 seconds, everybody. Little Jakey's scared of the big bad clutch of the butter.
If that sticks,
Bring in
I'll destroy
5,
you.
4, 3.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law and order in our country. Advance have already tasked what they are calling a solutions team to move this
Oh no.
serious social problem to the top of the list. Tonight, we go behind the scenes to meet the people who live with the criminal justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Well, as you can imagine, Jeremy, we are massively understaffed in this country. We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with demand.
Okay.
There simply isn't
Who's
enough
that?
at a systemic level to relieve the problem. We need more support from ministers. We need change at a structural level,
I'm
Jeremy.
leaving, Greg.
Not a good time, darling.
It never is it? I'll be at my mother's.
Just hang on. Oh, the problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's nationwide. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Jones.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our public.
Sorry to interrupt the news, Mr. Donaldson. Can I have a moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of a burdened legal sector there. Gregory Judge, thank you for joining us. Next, I'm joined by Police Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very different perspective on our nation's crime. Do you think there's a problem with the system, Bob?
I'm sure we all do, Jeremy. I'm sure we all long for a return to the days when you could safely walk the streets of your community at night, looking in through windows and generally enjoying your neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a knife. Or kosh.
So you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple question, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a citizen of this once great country. Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't have banned hanging.
And to what do you attribute this moral decay?
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly. It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly states that...
Oh my... What the... What?
Jeremy, your bloody gimps escaped. Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear?
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh.
Jesus didn't like immigrants much, did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible for the moral decay?
Absolutely, Jeremy. Back in your box, Clive. Back in your box. Delia, I really could use a little help with this.
Oh, sorry, darling, I was spaying the badgers.
Yes, I'm talking to Jeremy.
My God.
It's Wednesday.
And whose responsibility is it to make a change, Bob?
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility.
What the hell is this?
White people of this... Oh, hold on just a moment.
Oh my God.
I am not having this again. As I was saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal. No one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home with an A-, does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of her pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
Thank you, Bob. Bob Peel there, really locking down the police's position on morality theories. And finally tonight, hopefully uninterrupted,
Oh my God.
Tony Dawson has recently been released from prison after serving 3 years for aggravated assault, burglary, and menacing a smoker. He's agreed to talk to us today, which is also, I believe, his birthday. Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez. Call me Titwank Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwank Tony. Prison's a mixed bag. Structure's quite nice, but it's a constant battle against institutionalization, as you can imagine. And obviously, Titwanks are quite hard to come by.
I'm picking up that you're not alone in there, Tony.
Titwank Tony. Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Okay, well, we're trying to get back to that party as soon as possible. First, let me ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Titwank Tony! I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez. I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. Big Chris, Little Chris, and Vampire Chris. One sec, love. Titwank Tony's on the news. Rehabilitation is difficult with the current system, Jez. It's just not set up for it, you know? It's inherently unjust.
So, do you feel tempted to... I'm sorry, who's this now?
You are joking. Chrissy Free Bollocks has only got Mr. Fancy, oh. Not now, fellas, I'm on the news.
It seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here.
Yes, we seem to be losing the signal there, Tony.
Wait, las bolitas!
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes, Tony? Tony, I mean, we were literally away for 2 seconds. after the break, Megan will be live with some lucky young thespians. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
Oh my god, what the hell is this game?
This is on you. 10 seconds, everybody. We're gonna open on Megan. Camera 2. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to Black. I'm Megan Wolf, and on tonight's Culture Spot, I'll be chatting with one of the first beneficiaries of the a team of inspiring young people from Spritchford Sixth Form College, who today received a grant from Advance to take their play, Hey, Friendship, on a tour of local secondary schools. Welcome to you all. Well, let's start with you two, Harriet and Charlotte Winstanley-Hamilton. Girls, you must be thrilled.
We are, Megan. We're overwhelmed, to be honest.
And I believe you two are sisters, is that right?
Yes, Charlotte's my oldest. I'm the older, more popular one.
Harriet and Trey were really the ones who came up with the whole idea.
So, Harry and I were shooting the breeze in the cafeteria, and I said, hey, let's actually do something.
So I went to look for a drama teacher.
But she'd been laid off due to budget cuts. Fortunately, I directed a pantomime when I was at university, so I knew the ropes, as it were.
Right, yes, but you're the maths teacher, aren't you?
Yes, that's me, Jeff Algebra, maths teacher. Maths is really important. Oh, thanks, Steve. Maths is really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve.
As is theatre. It's one of the oldest art forms in history. Aristotle. I just think that when we travel around all these problem schools and the poor kids see us, they say, hey, I really want to be like those attractive kids. And that's a very beautiful and powerful thing. We touch our audiences and they touch us right back.
I suppose with a surname like Algebra, there was really only one choice of career for me. My wife, Angela, and I, we often laugh about it.
Angela Algebra.
Yes.
We just want to bring a bit of song and joy into people's lives.
And teach people about the difficult issues. The issues in the play are what really matter.
And I think you're going to be showing us an extract from this play, aren't you?
That's right. To put into context, I play a young first year who's having some troubles at school.
Her character doesn't actually have a name, yeah, because in a way she's like all of us.
It's like a metaphor. Maybe she's you at home, or like maybe she's you, Megan.
That's really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Put it in, coach. Yes, thanks, Steve.
Right, well, I'm going to have a little chat with your teacher while you run off and get ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it, that way. So, Jeff, when did you first hear about grants?
2 days ago, a letter from Advance arrived at the school. Now, the headmaster thought it was all a prank, but his secretary retrieved it from his bin and brought it to me.
How? How did you react?
I also threw it in the bin. But then, Harriet and Trey rescued it, and they rang the number at the bottom of the page, and next thing you know, we're on tour.
Wow. Well, I think we can all guess which way you'll be voting from now on.
Do you know what? It's funny because Angela and I don't usually vote. We're not very political. I'm a mathematician, of course, and she's a paraplegic mainly. But we did used to watch that Peter Clements DIY show back in the day, and so we thought, why not? Let's have a go at this whole democracy thing.
Okay.
And here we valley well are.
Good stuff.
Fucking brilliant!
So, let's have a look at a short
Oh my god, I made it.
friendship.
Dear Diary, I'm not sure I can take another day at this school. Another day of tears. Another day of fears. But still I walk the corridors alone. Dreading what might be around every corner.
What's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner?
Oh, hi Gary.
Oh heavens no! It's Gary the Thief.
somewhere, little first year?
Great. I've been looking for some poor victim to bully all morning. But will this make me feel better about my violent father?
Excuse me, I'm late for maths. It's my favourite subject. And so important.
What? Maths is for losers. My arm's stuck, Coach. Just keep going, for fuck's sake. Right. Maths is for losers. Now, give me your lunch money.
Double lunch for me today, but why am I only truly happy when I'm eating?
Not today, Gary the Fist.
What do you mean not today? Who are you? Oh, my arm's free coat. Brilliant, keep going. Right. Who are you to stand up to me? I, Gary the Fist. And you're just a sad little girl with 2 gay dads who's all alone.
That's where you're wrong, Gary the Fist. These are my 2 new friends. Vanessa is captain of the netball team. Yeah. And Blake owns a motorbike.
Yeah.
But I can't fight all 3 of you, and I don't have any friends of my own.
Take a look at me. Take a little look at my face. I could be you. She could be you. And you could be me. Or you could be me. Life can be peachy keen.
It's my choice to be mean. So stop now, make a different choice.
Hey, listen up, I won't take no crap. Who said middle class girls can't rap? I ain't afraid of your cool lads. I'm a mother-loving rebel, but I still love maths.
What the fuck? I saw them! No!
Hey, kids, I'm Gary the Fist. People think that folks like me probably shouldn't exist, but that's just prejudice, and I'd do better if you knew the way that I became Gary the Fist. I grew up on a council estate. The park was hip, but the flats weren't great. My dad used to come home drunk and late, and he'd hit my mum for dinner. He had to wait. Where's my dinner?
It's not ready.
Where's my dinner? Don't make me ask you again.
Hitting women is wrong.
I guess life's pretty hard on a council estate. 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 It's so damn hard on a council estate.
Life can be peachy keen.
Yeah.
If you work as a team.
Just work as a team.
It's your choice to be me.
It's my choice.
So stop now, make a different choice.
Listen to that inner voice.
Friendship.
Well, thankfully that's all we have time for tonight on National Nightly News. Join us tomorrow night for all the headlines from across the country. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're out.
What the literal fuck was that? I believe I've got a 14-inch cock, but doesn't make it sound. Oh, someone please get these twats out of my studio.
Oh my god. Well, I did a little bad, but that's okay. At least I had fun. Study life of love. There you go.
And I'm Megan Wolf.
Let's do the rushes and
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know seafood makes me go out in pustules.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist, going in 5, 4.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight. Market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Ham's news.
there you go. This one.
All that and Megan Wolf with a group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Seconds back, everybody. Can we get the guests in quickly, please?
We actually had to make the book indestructible because people tried to set it on fire too much. It's like
Thanks for
they were having
coming
these
on,
bonfires.
Thanks
in
for
town
having me.
centres, but- Alan James, no doubt you've read my stuff.
I try not to, if I'm honest.
Behave.
You're not the boss of
I
me.
literally am. 10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In the wake of the government's swift enactment of the Assets and Wealth Act, we're talking about Advance's first week in office and what the new future holds. Joining me are Katie Brightman, a leading economist, and Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, The Free Man's Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the government certainly haven't dragged their heels on delivering some of the legislation they promised. But what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Nothing, Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Advance have realised that the current economic system of unlimited, unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps in the grand plan.
Grand plan, Alan?
It's all in my book. Alan James is right, Jeremy. We're to become the great herd, ignorant, sterile, and short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on the way we are, we will destroy ourselves and this planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy on our poor broken backs. It's all in my book. Alan James is...
Shamelessly self-promoting? Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully. Advance are the most disruptive threat that the world powers have faced since the last Great War.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable.
Thank you, but that isn't
And
what
this
I...
will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're talking high-tech weapons that can level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, we'll be laughing then.
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know full well that isn't going to happen in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, Advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent end to poverty.
Bollocks! What this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy, is that these are the same people. Maybe they've rebranded, but it's all a little circus act to keep us from seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk happily into eternal bondage.
Katie, what are your predictions?
The Assets and Wealth Act is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our public services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts into scientific research and the arts.
Or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and Opie-arts. Like opiates, see?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue. It's all coming from the water, the chemicals. They're pumping it full of belief juice.
Don't get me wrong, I want to see these changes, but only if they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, That could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we've all been figuratively sodomized into submission.
No, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world. God knows we need some change, but we need to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future there. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating law and order before Megan meets some beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National Nightly News.
1 minute back.
You know, I think they might do some good.
I hope so too, Jeremy.
How much are you being paid by them then?
Oh, shut the fuck up, Alan.
Oh.
We've learned so much shit in my life.
Oh!
She's full of shit, won't we?
Alan, I can explain it to you, but unfortunately I can't understand it for you.
Oh!
I don't know what she meant by that.
Okay, let me do this one.
I'm just saying I'll do what I can, that's all.
Bullshit, you will. She's good. You know she is.
I've said I put a word in, that's all I can do.
10 seconds, everybody. Is little JD scared of the big bad culture with butter?
If that sticks,
Bring in
I'll destroy
5,
you.
4, 3.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law and order in our country. Advance have already tasked what they are calling a solutions team to move this serious social problem to the top of the list. Tonight, we go behind the headlines to meet the people who live with the criminal justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Well, as you can imagine, Jeremy, we are massively understaffed in this country. We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with demand, Jeremy. There just simply isn't enough being done at a systemic level to relieve the problem.
Greg?
We need more support from ministers. What are you doing? We need change at a structural level,
I'm
Jeremy.
leaving, Greg.
Not a good time, darling.
It never is it? I'll be at my mother's.
Just hang on. The problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's nationwide. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Judge.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our public
Sorry
servants.
to interrupt the news, Mr. Donaldson. Can I have a moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of a burdened legal sector there. Gregory Judge, thank you for joining us. Next, I'm joined by Police Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very
cannot
different
believe
perspective
you, Ellen.
on our nation's
I would have
crime.
expected this from your sister.
Do you think there's a problem with the system?
When
Bob?
are you going to realise?
I'm sure we all
I'm
do,
not
Jeremy.
her,
I'm
Greg.
sure we all long for a
Trust
return
me,
to the
between the
days when you
drinking
could
and the
safely walk the
arse,
streets
I'm
of your
very
community at
aware.
night, looking in through windows and generally enjoying your neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a knife. Or kosh.
So you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple question, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a citizen of this once great country. Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't have banned hanging.
And to what do you attribute this moral decay?
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly. It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly
Here we
states
go. Here we go
Hang on a
again.
moment, Jeremy, your bloody goose escaped. Delia? Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear? As I was saying, Jesus didn't like immigrants much, did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible for the moral
yes.
decay?
Absolutely, Jeremy. Back in your box, Clive. Back in your box. Delia, I really could use a little help with this.
Oh, sorry, darling. I was spaying the badgers.
Yes, I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson. Clive, could you put him back in his box?
Oh, Clive, you know it's Wednesday. You go back in your gimp space.
And who's responsible for the change, Bob?
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility of the decent, good, white people of
Darling,
this...
where's the padlock?
Oh, hold on just a moment.
Oh my god.
Naughty, 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 naughty boy.
Oh my god.
I am not having this again. As I was saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal, no one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home with an A-, does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of her pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
Thank you, Bob. Bob Peel there, really locking down the police's position on morality for us. And finally tonight,
I spoke to Mallory at the Bridge
it's
Club.
time to get to the heart of the matter.
She says the hall is absolutely fine for Sunday.
Oh, marvellous. Now, I booked your mother in for a hearing test.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. Now, how's your IBS been?
He's agreed to talk to us today, which is also, I believe, his birthday. Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez. Call me Titwank Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwank Tony. Prison's a mixed bag. Structure's quite nice, but it's a constant battle against institutionalization, as you can imagine. And obviously, titwanks are quite hard to come by.
I'm picking up that you're not alone there, Tony.
Titwank Tony. Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Okay, well, we're trying to let you get back to that party as soon as possible. First, let me ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Titwank Tony. I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez. I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. There's Big Chris, Little Chris, and Vampire Chris.
This one's, yeah?
One sec, love. Titwank Tony's on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system, Jez. It's just not set up for it, you know? It's inherently unjust.
It's open!
So, do you feel tempted to... I'm sorry, who's this now?
You are joking. Chrissy Freebollocks has only got Mr. Fancy, oh.
It seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here.
Yes, we seem to be losing the signal there, Tony.
Fucking way, Las Bolitas!
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes, Tony? Tony, I mean, we were literally away for 2 seconds. How has this happened, Tony? Can you hear me? Well, we seem to have lost our train of thought there. Hopefully you have managed to gain a broader understanding of the serious and complex issues. After the break, Megan will be overseeing We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back, everybody.
Went well.
Piss off.
I
can have you fired.
You'd miss my charm.
Okay, let's continue. Da da la 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 la. Day 15. You arrive home after another long shift to find a note waiting for you in the countertop. You organize Sam's hurried scroll. Chris have been executed for not paying rent. You know where it is headed. Sam's gone to pick up Chris's stuff from the street. Don't wait up under the lid twice. So to see full now that it is, you simply press play on the cheap horror film you were going to watch together. Used to absolutely terrify you as a kid, but always makes you to laugh. Excuse me. It's not the same without Sam, but you still chuckle to yourself occasionally. Just as you get to the good bit, the part where Candy have decided to investigate alone, your 14-year-old son interrupts. He wants to go to a friend's home. He looks like you in a way only a child can, pleading but somehow defended. Let him go as long as he promises to be home by 11. Fine. Clearly surprised, he practically races out the door he does in front of the movie, waiting for his return. You start waking into the sound of TV static. It's gone midnight and there's no sign of Charlie or Sam. It's cool midnight and he promised, so you go over there and march him home. Arriving at a friend's home, you find your son, who miraculously noticed the time he sees you. He may think you were born yesterday, but at least he apologizes. That's something. He recognizes that cheeky, mischievous look. You can't help but let him off this time. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Day 48! You can't help but crack a smile as you look around the table. The snow has settled on the grass outside. The kids have pulled a cracker while you and the elderly mother tries to keep your eyes open. You do always have a soft spot for Christmas. You sit at the head of the table now, your dad's place. It's been a tense afternoon. Everyone can feel it. In the first time you've seen Chris since you refused to part with your passport, it's a big change for Sam. The two siblings used to be inseparable. Christmas is usually such a nice time of year. The clatter of the collie is all that can be heard as Chris stares pointedly at you. Are you having fun at Christmas, Grandpa? Your mother stares vaguely and confused. Susie comes back to herself with a start of recognition. Yeah, thank you, Alex. It's lovely, she murmurs. It's been happening more and more lately. The clatter of collie all that it can be heard as Chris stared pointedly at you. You make a toast. You stand and raise your glass. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm glad we're all here. There are murmurs of cheers and much clinking of glasses. Chris didn't move. Yeah, we're all here. No thanks to you, Chris, said Sam. Come on now. It's Christmas. Can't we put that behind us? Sam is right. Let's turn each other. Chris turned away from you, taking some frustration out in a cheap cut of roast chicken. Your daughter Susie sees the opportunity to corner you. You know what you love. You know how you love you. He chuckled. Sounds familiar. I'm going to like this who I am, you joke. Susie rolls her eyes. You know me and my friends are planning on going travel this year. Susie begins instantly. Well, I'm hoping you will help me with the money. She interrupted by Chris, who makes just a snort. I won't hold your breath, Susie. Not knowing your generosity, are you, Alex? You know what? Let me make this easy for you, Chris spits and heading for the door. Sorry, kids. Sam's standing now too. Oh, nice, Alex. Really nice. Sam exclaims, following Chris and slamming the door. Minutes pass in silence. The cheap canned vegetables taste bitter in your mouth as meal continues miserable silence. The clock chimes and you realize you've been chewed in a mouthful of buttery carrots about 10 minutes. You're so grateful when your daughter been tell you about her plan for the year. We see so many parts of the world and learn so much about all the cultures. And how are you going to pay for all this? I was hoping you'd help me, Susie admits sheepishly, suddenly intent on each behind her ear. You sigh, I love your voice. You know her money is really tight now that Grandma's staying here. We just don't have that much to spare, Susie. But please, Harry's parents are helping her. Alright, fine. We're gonna make it work. Susie grins straight from her ear to ear. You mean it? That's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She hugs you tight before pulling a cracker with her little brother. Her grandma watches them proudly. You're trying not to think about how you're gonna find the money for the trip. Merry Christmas, sweetheart. It's all you can say. You're leafing through the pile of looking posts. Each new bill pulls on your gut like lead weight into a flash of blue makes you pause, recognizing the teal of the West logo envelope on your tear open. Dear Westing Resident, thank you for sending your passport for approval. We can now confirm their reception of validity on new assets of wealth insurance scheme. Hopefully this will make the last month of agreement, but Sam worth it. As much of our pleasure to close this queue, which we hope will see a symbol not only for our graduation to you, but our unwavering commitment to create a social for free equality. The dropping of your fresh speed into a paper cut is the only reason you can believe you're awake. A queue, a suitable one of that. Chris was right. Advance will really disturb both. We will continue to strive the betterment of this national and this better people forward together. Julia Jennifer and Peter Clement, the weight of your fictional burden lessens slightly. It's a bliss. Why does the zip on this damn case never close? It's your anniversary. Every year you and Sam go away for the weekend, usually camping. You're not made for money. You've been looking forward for this for ages. Finally getting some time alone together where you can forget about the noises of life. No kids, no work, just a bit of romance and some peace and quiet. The zipper finally gives up the battle and you drag the bulging suitcase down the stairs. The answering machine is blinking on the hall table. Good evening, Alex. This is Mrs. Boseman. I'm calling to inform you that you will be required to work this weekend. Your heart sinks. Some information has come to light concerning the rising tensions between our nations and foreign powers, and the National Lighting News team will be working around the clock to ensure we break the story first. Needless to say, I will accept your attentions tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Have a pleasant evening, Alex. Shock turned to annoyance and then fury. What are you going to tell Sam? Sam comes downstairs, brimming with excitement. Kissing you, they grab the car keys from the dish and start to load the bags into the back. This one. You sigh heavily. You're going to go, aren't you? The voice behind you makes you whip around. You nod simply. Of course you are. I'm too much to expect for you to put your family first for once. God forbid. I don't know why I'm bothered, Alex. I really don't. And with that, Sam's gone. The front door swings slightly in the silence. Your son Charlie hovers at your elbow as you read. Do you find yourself striving to achieve? Are you an active member of the team? Do you like reaping and the benefits of combination? Join the Advanced Go-Getter today. Forward together. It doesn't sound like the youth club he told about. Charlie grabs the flyer from you and thrusts a form into your hand. So I can walk there straight from the school and Ben's sister can drop us home after. So you won't have to do it anything. Your son is thrilled. His heart warms to see him passionate about becoming an active part of the community. This can only be a good thing. After a particularly long day at work, you come home, find the post sorted into piles, as Sam has taken doing recently. Most of it is usually rubbish, but a letter with the inclusive familiar Advanced logo and urgent respond immediately, plastered on the front in the correspondingly urgent red font grabs your attention. Best it gets over it. Dear Winston Resident, this letter is to inform you that Advanced government has taken another step forward in our fight for equality by nationalizing and the largest private corporations and redistributing their resources among the citizens of this great country. The Partnership Bonds program ensures that wealth created by the people is delivered to the people. We don't remember this being in the manifesto. Every household will become a partner in 2 of the 4 careful selected industries chosen by events for the constant high performance in professional security. Please note all returns are based on public opinion and cannot be counted. Please take one of the following. EOB, Eye of a Bowler, it comes with the beauty of the customers. Or business or pleasure, from sport, travel. I think this one. And for your second bond, please select one of the following. This one. Thank you for making your selection. Please return this form using the envelope provided. You will receive a report from your partnership in 3 to 6 work months. The same even Advance can defeat the colonial government's cruelty. The future of this nation is in partnership. Forward together. Julie Celebrity and Peter Clement. So just how much influence could we have? You step out of your old car in silence. Sam slams the door and you wince, hoping the door won't come off its hinges. You don't say anything, and now is not the time. As you approach the front desk, you feel physically sick. The police officer asks you to wait. Eventually, after what seems like an eternity, your daughter is brought up by an officer with a kind smile. She's a good kid, but if we picked her up for a graffiti again, we will have her charged again. You nod and apologize for Susie's behalf, and Sam hugs your self-shocked daughter. As you shake her hand, the officer lowers her voice. Keep her away from that boy, and I think she will be fine. In the car, you attempt to browse the subject of but Susie refuses to say a word. After a while, you give up your questions about who this boy might be and just row. Hours later, you stare at the ceiling, worrying. The stillness in the bedroom is only a sign of Sam is only wide awake. Who's Susie hanging out with? Why is she acting out? Neither of you are going to sleep tonight. Dun 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 dun. Day 153, The Tempest.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show. Toodle pip. My God, that weather looks nasty.
Apparently he has a complicated relationship with his friend.
No.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talk to you.
You're probably just a really awful date.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accidentally slip out?
Pricks. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
After 3 months of record-breaking approval ratings, could this be the daring first move of a silent resistance movement? And what would that mean as we go into the future?
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
Without enough engineers to successfully fix their craft, the team seem likely to attempt to farm the cavern's ecosystem while they wait for rescue from above ground. I think I'll stick to risotto, Jeremy.
Bearing their opinions, the formerly rich are fighting back with a naked protest.
Our very own Robin Short was on hand earlier today when this new protest group first presented themselves.
It might seem amusing to us, but clearly this formerly overprivileged section of our society is not adjusting well to the new future. It's often too easy to forget that not every citizen is thriving under advance.
Table for 2. Johnny Hamsleys and Tiffany Lamore were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller coaster since they started dating late last year, and this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Could we be on the verge of the biggest celebrity wedding since professional wrestler Randy Grizzlenuts McFridge married his longtime tag team partner Tina Tiny Hands last year in a wrestling ring made entirely of cake?
Is this once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy?
And onwards and upwards. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Remington's Fist CEO Sophia Remington today announced a brand new product that already has the markets buzzing with interest.
This groundbreaking product came as quite a shock when it was revealed earlier today, though its critics are skeptical that the young CEO can fulfill her promises.
Described as a breakthrough far ahead of its time, the male contraceptive pill is heralding a sexual revolution. Its fans are celebrating the fact that men can finally take equal responsibility for contraception. Others have expressed concerns over its safety and
Oh no.
With that exclusive prime ministerial interview.
No! What's going on? No! No! Dang it! Okay, let me get the game back in. Something happened. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. Let's try this again and see if it will make it better now. I'm so sorry that it basically did this. Okay, continue. That's what I wanted. I'm so sorry. I didn't do anything wrong. The program just shut down when I played it. Okay, let's try this again. Freeze new. Come on, let me put it in.
Oh, how's it going with Steve?
Why are men such
There we go. George Cruz and this one.
No. Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talked to you.
You're probably just a really awful dick.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accidentally slip out?
Pricks.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
After 3 months of record-breaking approval ratings, could this be the daring first move of a silent resistance movement? And what would that mean as we go into the future?
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
Without enough engineers to successfully fix their craft, the team seem likely to attempt to farm the cavern's ecosystem while they wait for rescue from above ground. I think I'll stick to risotto, Jeremy.
Bearing their opinions, the formerly rich are fighting back with a naked protest.
Our very own Robin Short was on hand earlier today when this new protest group first presented themselves.
It might seem amusing to us, but clearly this formerly overprivileged section of our society is not adjusting well to the new future. It's often too easy to forget that not every citizen is thriving under advance.
Table for 2. Johnny Hamsleys and Tiffany Lamour were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller coaster since they started dating late last year, and this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Could we be on the verge of the biggest celebrity wedding since professional wrestler Randy Grizzlenuts McFridge married his longtime tag team partner Tina Tiny Hands last year?
Teeny Tiny Hands.
Made into tiny cake.
Is this once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sport?
And onwards and upwards. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Rimington's Fist CEO Sophia Rimington today announced a brand new product that already has the markets buzzing with interest.
This groundbreaking product came as quite a shock when it was revealed earlier today, though its critics are skeptical that the young CEO can fulfill her promises.
Described as a breakthrough far ahead of its time, the male contraceptive pill is heralding a sexual revolution. Its fans are celebrating the fact that men can finally take equal responsibility for contraception. but others have expressed concerns over its safety and side effects.
With that exclusive Prime Ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon coming to you live from the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
There you go. Carefully. Carefully. Careful. And there we go.
First tonight, after the Christmas horror caused by Mr. Snugglehugs, we have an exclusive interview with one of the victims.
Poor 7-year-old Timmy Tadlock, like so many of those affected by the Christmas bloodbath, has spent the last 3 months undergoing a series of reconstructive facial surgeries.
Last week, joyfully, he spoke for the first time since the tragedy. Tonight, he talks to us.
Before we go to the interview, however, this station would like to issue a full and frank apology for any part we may have played in the tragedy. We should never have advertised Mr. Snugglehugs. Without our publicity, the sheer scale of this tragedy, and now upwards of 8,000 casualties, might have been averted.
On behalf of the Nightly News team, we're sorry.
In future, we will do better.
Now it's over to Robin Short at the Tadlock family home. Robin?
Thank you, Megan. I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. Tadlock and their 7-year-old son, Timothy. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Yes, well, you're bloody lucky we're spending any time with you at all. After what you lot did. Irresponsible.
I know.
It's all right. It wasn't your fault. As you can see, Megan, there's still a few open wounds here. I'll tread carefully. I'm going to speak to Timmy now. Hello, Timmy. Can you see me?
Mummy, who's that lady?
It's the lady from television, Timothy. She's going to ask you a few questions.
You be careful now, it upsets them to remember.
Don't worry, Mr. Tadlock. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason. So, Timmy, can you tell us what happened to you? You had just unwrapped Mr. Snugglehugs, hadn't you? Was he under the tree?
Yes, I could smell him already. He smelled like love.
Ah, yes, that'll be the fur. It's scented with hoof.
I was so excited. I ran up to my room and gave him a big hug. He was so soft and warm, like our cat, before he got in the way of Daddy's Porsche.
And what did Mr. Snugglehugs say to you?
He blinked his real action eyes and said, "You're my very best friend." But I sure wish Mrs. Snugglehugs was here, and she can't be, for just $89.99. And then it's a general error. 41!
And is that when he burst into flames?
Careful.
And then he exploded.
Oh, look, I've asked you nicely.
And am I right in saying that one of his real action eyes is now permanently embedded in your cheek?
Yes. When I took him in at night, it glows through bandages. I know it's under there, staring at me.
Yeah, some of the other children have started calling him Timmy Three Eyes. And with his glasses, that's 5.
It's too many eyes, Robin.
And what's the last thing you remember before the darkness overtook you?
He looked at me with his one eye and laughed. Laughed as he burned.
It sounds very traumatic. Do you have nightmares?
All right, that's quite
you,
enough of
Timmy?
you two coming in here with your camera, trying to make a buck out of our suffering. I won't have it.
Mr. Tadlock, just a couple more questions. Timmy, do you think you will ever be what we can call normal again?
And now you. Oh, you've made him cry with all 3 of his eyes.
Do you think your parents will ever really love you again?
Right, that's it. Enough. Come on,
happy, Mr. Tadlock. So there you have it, Megan. Just one of the many victims of an indescribable tragedy that has shaken our nation. Back to you.
Thank you, Robin. Harrowing stuff.
And many questions to be answered by Sophia Remington in the coming days and months, I'd wager. How will she turn this crisis around?
So, Jeremy, what are the warning signs consumers should look out for when they're spotting a dangerous toy?
Well, Megan, experts advise to always check for the new advanced mark, which guarantee a level of safety and quality.
Yeah, can we just get a close-up on panel 3 here? So if we take a look at this National Nightly News mug, you should see the mark just on the base of it there.
In the wake of the scandal, the government were praised for their swift response in bringing in this set of stringent checks and new products.
It certainly is good to know that someone's watching out for our families. When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. 1 minute back.
Oh, sorry, I'm bursting.
She's very good.
Who?
Megan.
Yes, she is.
Watch back, Jeremy. Women are coming.
I'm more worried about this water dripping onto my head.
Hey, A+. Plus.
We're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the Sports Board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Bozeman out.
Do 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 do. Da do 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 do.
But I always say welcome back.
I think we should just keep it as it is.
Well, of course you do. I've got one hack line.
What's that supposed to be?
That's all right, fine. Jenny, there's something wrong with the auto key.
10 seconds.
I just felt a drip again. Have they not fixed this?
Want to see us fry? It's good for the ratings.
5.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Kathrine. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan. You join me live here from the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Eddie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the Orangi Hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending, is Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the Fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. And Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brains. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris. Back to Striker. Shot number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throwing under her legs. Not bad if you ask me. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in her hand is worth 2 in the bush. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start of Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit better. But first, of course, after the argument with the ref section, it was time to change ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense. Striker giving it large. Winter round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. Apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. She appears to have slogans across her breasts and arms. Try and ignore all of that security. I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow. Because it's quite Pride and Eyesore and women's body. Yeah, right.
What the hell?
Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Eddie Striker. You know, it's just some of the tightest player I've seen ever. Harris. And was that the fetid thumbscrew? We haven't seen that since the Heats. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket.
Sorry!
I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastery on display here absolutely blooming, jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, I've always said that. And after all, it is a game of two halves, 4 rounds and several subgenres. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington's Fist. Must be some music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. Is running around here with his genitals on display for all to see. And ruining what was shaping up to be quite the dancer, to be fair. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security's on it. And the bucket's been knocked over! I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over.
Why?
Genitals flying around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television. And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again. And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these two players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't. Not bad.
I'm trying my best, at least. I'm not good.
Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around.
I was just watching the greens.
But what I wouldn't give to be that ball, am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris.
Oh my god.
And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because of course if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to Striker. And Striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course perhaps... And yes, Harris has counted with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course we've seen that before.
What the hell is this?
What a mug. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame. Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. Here we go. Tommy Harris. That's all right. Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact caution from the referee, who's been, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like, I mean, this is a mess now. I don't know what I'm going to be doing about this. I mean, there's sort of breasts and genitals for all to see. I mean, there's only so much I can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they?
Oh my god.
Carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters hopefully we can get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. What's going on here? Yes. We want our money. Yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters. Absolute wasters. Jog on! It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go in there at this point. Really high-level play here from 2 absolute juggernauts of the sport. juggling it around from her hands. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on, from Striker. But she's in it to win it. On it, like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beef. And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today with us. And he's thrown it, and the banana was the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris! Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic, there we go, Jeremy, that is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump! We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official. In, please.
And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship is everyone!
Okay, the ref has agreed once again a win for everyone, including me as my 15th win in Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals. They're 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. Looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all I always have to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
Patrick Bannon had an
Jesus.
extraordinary fight.
Historic Sports Board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back,
Oh my god, ah!
I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shot me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shot me. Where's that sound guy?
Everything okay?
Oh, the mics are just trying to kill us now, apparently.
Oh my god.
You're unshockable.
I'm immune to your cheap flattery.
I'm wearing you down.
Boozman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that the storm is causing the odd power surge. Some of your controls might be a bit dangerous. Now I know you're tough and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast.
Oh my god.
Too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right decisions. Boozman out.
So sorry about all these buckets. We seem to have sprung a leak. Well, several, actually.
You're gonna need a whole new lining up there. Triple single,
We'll look into it.
Stutz, good to see you again.
Miss Wolf, your star seems to be in the ascendant.
It's a great time to be alive.
Too bloody right, Peter Clement.
Megan Wolf.
Oh no, it's this two again. No!
Am I here?
Here, with Mr. Clement on your left.
Right you are, pet. Is your seat one?
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine. Have you had a little accident?
She's a cow.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles.
Oh my god.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti.
Oh no 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 no.
across the capital. Should we be
Come
worried?
on, let me go.
No, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers mostly.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissants who just don't know how to be happy.
Hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always
Oh no 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 no. Oh god, my god.
what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts projects.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement.
Oh my god.
Surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Oh, okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares
It's death, Pet. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that Advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that's definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close up camera?
Oh,
Pet?
sorry, it's camera 4 right now.
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. He had to go to the hospital. My granddad, he collapsed that morning. So we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him, frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I love.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope.
Oh my god, ah!
He lived with
Jesus
us for
Christ!
9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon.
Jesus
He had
Christ.
a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football.
Oh my god!
Wait till half time.
That sounds...
It was awful. Awful for us. And this is the point. It were awful for him. He could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away. And he would beg her
Jesus
to
Christ.
turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't. Or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. People who feel they've run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline into an
Just giving me an electric job.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think it's from me out.
Ah!
Yes, sorry.
Jesus.
Apologies. Oh.
Jesus! Oh my god!
This new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got sacked again. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
Oh no! Come on!
Jesus, I rose your face, fucker. That one was massive. Right, no.
Oh my god!
Hold on.
Sorry, the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
God!
Spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of that grandmother with a rusty twat by his
Prime Minister, please.
Oh no!
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Jeremy.
Jesus!
That's all we have time
What
for.
the hell?
Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
Good job, everybody.
So they just...
The same, sir.
I don't suppose there's any way this
Oh my god. What the hell is
That's
going
my nephews.
on?
We transitioned the moment I stopped the leak.
What the hell? What is this game? Did I pass out? They question the lockdown? Oh my god!
You're going to need a full charge to clear that many off. Hold down the big button until it's fully charged, then release it to zap the little fuckers. Excellent, Alex. We're broadcasting again.
Oh my god.
Usually it only takes a tap on the button to clear one. Look, there's a lone one climbing now. Zap it off before it starts to mess up the signal again. Quickly, Alex, fry it! Great. That seems to be the last of them. For now. Right. We're about a minute out. Get the adverts loaded up. I've got to deal with my pet idiot. And Alex, keep your ears open. You'll hear them climbing up the tower. Don't let them build up.
Okay, I think that's it for today. Oh my god. I don't know what's going on, but it's really intense and I like it. So I will probably play it maybe next week. It depends how things will go for me. So thank you guys for watching the live stream, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it as much as I have been enjoying this. And I will see you guys later next time. Bye!